Hi there, Joel from Jonesy's. Thanks for checking out the YouTube channel. Today's the day that we pick up Joe Stedman from the airport and deliver him his CJ8 LS-swapped Scrambler. Stick around for the full video walk-around tour of the finished product and some details on his trip home. He's going to drive it a whole bunch of miles from Washington State all the way back to Georgia. So stick around for those video details next. Thanks for watching. We've got the Scrambler on the lift here, so we're going to go through all of the final details. We're going to start with the suspension. Suspension is stock Wrangler springs. This is a MotoBilt full width axle configuration. So these axles are full-size truck axles. This one came from a 1972 Chevrolet half-ton. The high steer kit came from Rough Stuff, as well as the shock towers that came from Rough Stuff. And lastly, the Dana 44 is equipped with 488 gears with air lockers and a heavy duty diff cover, also from Rough Stuff. We went with the aftermarket 4-bolt high steer knuckles. And then since this was a Chevy, we converted all of the outers to the 5-on-5.5 lug pattern. The rear axle came from a Ford pickup truck. It's the large bearing Ford 9-inch, and it already had the 5-on-5.5 lug pattern. And we outfitted it with rear disc brakes, also from Rough Stuff, with their weld-on bracket. Bent some new lines, and this rear diff is also equipped with a air locker as well. Measured out the Bilstein shocks and then kind of kept those the factory stock upper shock hanger, and then welded on some new lower shock mounts also from Rough Stuff. You can see those guys there. A stock style Scrambler fuel tank. It's a poly tank that was retrofitted with the Walbro 255 pump, running the Corvette style fuel filter regulator, and then hardlined that all the way up to the engine. Built custom 2-in, 1-out exhaust with the straight through MagnaFlow style muffler. The Atlas transfer case, built a custom cross member and coupled that to the NV4500 and the 5.3 liter LS. We bought the DIY style rocker skids kit from Rough Stuff as well. Kind of retrofitted those into so there would be like a rocker skid as well as a kind of a running board and a step. And then instead of welding those to our nicely powder coated frame, we fabricated some outriggers and then used some heavy duty 1/2-inch U-bolts to secure them. And they actually are very, very stout. So yeah, you're not gonna be slamming them on rocks and things like that. But if you were to bend them, at least you have the ability to remove them and repair them and take them off and fix them. So let's move to the upper section here. I left this cover off from our Genrite Fenders to show you guys the air conditioning. We welded in a new firewall plate for the Old Air Products air conditioning system, and they supplied us with the condensing unit as well as the line kit for this as well. Continuing with the air conditioning, we opted to retain the factory truck style air conditioning placement, and then got some conversion adapters. You can see those two lines right there. We got those from Cold Hose. And that makes that air conditioning setup really nice. Also, maybe you can see it a little bit better from underneath here. Went with a straight out style water thermostat housing, as well as a Camaro style water pump, so that it has a straight out upper hose outlet, and then ran a set of water pump spacers from ICT Billet. ITC billet. Under here, back to the steering linkage, RedHead steering box. Went with a Parts Mike heavy duty 1-ton flat pitman arm, and the more heavy duty steering box mount. Factory style Chevy disc brakes for the front. Local i5 Driveline. Measured up and fabricated our drive lines. So we'll give a plug to Wayne over there. Wayne also was the one that set up our 488 gears and the air lockers in this rig as well. So I think that pretty much covers the underside. Let's lower this thing down and I'll give you guys the tour of the top. Wheels are a Method wheel with a 35-10-50-17 Kenda tire. Rides really well. Doesn't have too much stick out on the fenders in the rear, so that's good. We custom fabricated a rear tire swing out. The hinge itself came from 4x Innovations. Those guys make a nice double shear hinge setup with that locking pin, so that works really well. We added in some shackle mounts, plumbed an air coupler to the rear, as well as a battery and a receiver hitch. And over here, you can see our latch mechanism. We poured the urethane around latch so it has a zero clearance, and then just like we've done on our other builds, put the striker plate or the latch plate up on top with the safety retaining pin. This cam over latch mechanism came from Rough Stuff. So for the rear bumper, to kind of go through where we sourced a lot of these parts, the plate, the mounting plate, came from Rough Stuff. The hinge came from 4x Innovations, and the latch itself came from Rough Stuff as well. Up in the engine compartment, we are running just a stock style AGM battery. And then our main chassis wire harness came from American Auto Wire. It's their standard 13, I believe it's 13 Power Plus. We'll put a bunch of links in the description for a lot of the products we used. The engine itself is a 2012 5.3 liter, running the stock intake, a PSC power steering pump, as well as the factory truck brackets, which I already mentioned with that. Now, radiator wise, we bought the whole cooling package from Cold Case. It also included the 2 fans, as well as the shroud and the radiator. And so far, again, we haven't had huge high temperatures. That cooling package has been working really, really well. Just got a regular aftermarket disc brake setup, or brake booster setup, and the proportioning valve is disc. Advanced adapters got us configured with the hydraulic clutch, and then the slave cylinder, bell housing, and clutch are all factory, just regular, like 2003 Chevy pickup truck style internal slave. It's regular cast style LS manifolds. And that kind of covers most everything in the engine compartment. It's pretty simple. Ran just a regular simple 45 on the air cleaner, built a brace at the bottom there, and then a 90-degree boot, and the mass airflow sensor welded in on the back side. Added in several mega fuses, as well as a maxi fuse for winch and power ports, which again, power ports on the rear, nothing on the front, but we did add a compressed air system on the front. Converted over to later style Jeep hood latches. and added in a master disconnect. So let's go inside and we will talk about what we have going on inside here. So under dash, this is the Old Air Products air conditioning unit. Retained the factory glove box, added a boat style Bluetooth radio, Old Air Products lower control panel with the 2 vents. Very simple 2 speaker system there. Built a custom transmission tunnel here that allowed for the shifter as well as the cable shifters. So this is a passenger drop transfer case, and normally those shifters would be over here. But we got from Advanced Adapters the cable kit that comes around, and we're able to locate the transfer case shifters on the driver's side. Autometer for the Envision instrument panel, which this whole instrument, I'm really proud of what we were able to do for this whole instrument panel. We started with a new replacement dash panel, and then I CNC plasma'd out this cutout to give spots for all of the switches for the air lockers and the compressor, and then all of the instrumentation. And the spacing on the dash really turned out nice in my opinion. One of the only kind of criticisms I have for this Autometer instrumentation panel is that in really, really bright sun, it can actually be fairly difficult to see out of it. As far as the seats go, these were mid-90s Cadillac Escalade, mid-90s Cadillac Eldorado. And the reason why we went with this style of seat is because the customer, Joe Stedman, had to have a bench seat. So this was the best style of seat that would fit. They're a little thick in the back, so it's gonna be tight when we get the cab on, but he's okay with that because he says that 99% of the time it's not gonna have the top on it. So back here, this is a toolbox, and we mounted the air compressor as well as the air tank in the toolbox. So got some extra storage, and it protects that compressor and that tank from the elements. Added in some cargo lights for the rear. We also added some rock lights. There's the switch for that. Got 2 on each side. And then a very small, simple front LED light bar. We didn't need much in addition because we have the Philips LED headlights, and those are really good. Factory Jeep Scrambler black mirrors, and the factory tilt steering column. Redid the door panels also to match the gold textured inserts that we have in the seats. And then also retained the cup holders that he had previously. The exterior, we'll start with the obvious. Those are Genrite aluminum fenders. And the paint is the factory Jamaican beige. These rear panels in the back came from MotoBilt, and then we custom fit them and trimmed them around the Genrite rear fenders. All right, YouTube, we want to give Joe Stedman a proper send-off. And because he is anti-duck there. We thought it would be good to give him some ducks so that he can share the love. Okay, Joe Stedman, careful what you wish for. I know you don't want the ducks, but you're gonna get a whole bunch of them. And they're gonna be hidden all over this Jeep. Boom. You're welcome, buddy. Have a safe trip.
It's been a long day. We flew down, time zones, but we're at the Jeep. It's big, it's tall. Tired.
We're at Washington State.
Okay, guys.
Bye, you guys. Drive safely.
Well, now that Joe is on the road, he is embarking on a 40-hour journey, approximately 2,800 miles.
First fill up, we're just topping off. We're not even filling up. Had to use the bathroom and whatnot. Everything looks good so far.
Well, after minimal difficulties, Joe made it home, and he didn't waste any time modifying the Jeep. He pulled the doors off, set them in their own specific rack, which is really nice. Even dug out some security system. Can't believe he still has one of those things. Added some bolt speakers to the roll cage to improve the sound system. Some anti-chip guard on the rear fenders. And my favorite, the Scrambler decal on the side of the hood. Well, guys, that's going to wrap it up. Here's a shot of the Scrambler at the rest area. Want to give a special thanks to Joe and Monica for being such understanding and patient customers. And I also want to say thank you for anybody that's watching this. Please hit the subscribe button and the like button. And we look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks for watching.